I purposely make myself look ugly, and then when I edit, I'm like, ew, why do I look like that? Because you do it to yourself, babe.
You're doing it to yourself. Like, you're literally doing it right now. Stop doing it.
Hi, how are you? Hope you're okay. Hope everything is going good for you. I'm excited because I want to check out some booksies. Last year, I wanted to do this and I wasn't able to do it because I didn't read a lot of bad books, and the ones bad that I read that weren't really that bad. So this year is looking great on the bad spectrum. I'm gonna go curl my bangs. I probably should have like stuck a curler in it at night because it's like 7 a.m. right now, and I didn't. I just forgot, and because I was depressed and I didn't think I was gonna film anything, even though I wanted to and I missed you and all of that. But then I got hit with a strong sense of mania at around 6 or something. So now I'm filming and I didn't prepare my fucking hair. And it's so bad because I like slit my eyebrows and everything for you. You know what? That's just gonna do. That's just gonna do. We're giving something. No, the eyebrows are slit. Not really, but I'm covering an actual slit that doesn't want to grow hair, and I just got carried away and now I have like 4 of them. What was I talking about? Shitting on books. This year is turning out to be one of the years that I'm reading a lot. I currently have 70 books under my belt. I've read 70 books as of yet, and I'm super proud of that. However, not all of them were good. So I'm happy with that because I'm gonna get to share the bad ones with you. Let's start off with the 2 stars, okay? I have 12 books under the 2 stars, and I'm gonna skip most of them because I made an entire video talking about most of them, which is the Chainsaw Man series. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch it. Probably here. Go ahead and watch it. You know what? Here. Go ahead and watch it. This is my right, and this is my left. The tattoo hand is my left because I have my own machine, so I don't do it myself, and I use this hand. I'm ambidextric, but I learned to be ambidextric. I wasn't born one. I learned out of paranoia. Beginning my paranoia has started when I turned like around 19, 20 I said. I'm 23 now, and my paranoia has been getting more and more like worse, and then worse, and then worse, and now it's like super bad. And around last year, I want to say I got like I got super paranoid, and that I was gonna have an accident, and I'm gonna break my hand, my right hand, and like every time I step out, every time I attempt to do something, I was like, I'm going to break my hand and my leg. I believe it 100%. So I taught myself to use this side of my body for like a year, and I ended up doing it for like 3 months consistently, just eating with it, writing with it, doing everything with it, and then I was like, oh my god, I can use it. I don't want to though, so I just kept using this one. That was so unnecessary. I'm so sorry. The first one though that I hated, it's west of the border, south of the border, west of the sun. And it's by Haruki Murakami. And why this is a 2-starter, why this is one of the worst books I've read this year, not that it's bad, the writing is absolutely gorgeous, I love it. We can't get enough of Murakami's depiction of women in literature, of course, it's iconic. However, the main character is one of the most pretentious assholes that I've read, and it made me hate the entire book. Like, it's the character, and I was just like my soul was crawling out of my body. Like, it wanted to get out of me because I hated that character so much. Next one is a no-brainer, The Spanish Love Deception. By the way, almost all of these I've made full videos on, and I'm gonna do them here, so click on them and watch them, please. I'm trying to have an audience right now, okay? I'm lonely, so be here for me, maybe, like, just be here. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That's so much. That's so mean. What are you doing, Marie? Like, stop it. Anyways, basically why I hated it, it was just like when I finished the book, I was like, this couldn't have happened. This could not have happened. This cannot exist, and it would have been cool. This can have included itself in two ways. One is, she must have one friend that she can invite to the wedding. Like, one friend, like one other person, even a random person. Like, we all have that one person that we talk to once every 3 years, and they're like, hey, and we're like, hey, and you're like, what's up? And you're like, nothing much, life, you know, life. And then we don't talk to until like 3 more years pass, you just call that friend. You don't have to go to the enemies to lovers trope, because it just felt unnecessary. It didn't feel like a trope. It felt like I'm doing this because it's hip with the kids right now. So you can just tell your family, I come from a very traditional, very and I know how it feels to have this dilemma of your family doing what their family did, or like the pressure and all, but you literally can just tell them fuck off. Not like that, of course, because you're gonna get a slap. What? She could have just went and like sucked it up. Like, she doesn't have a partner, it's okay, it's not that big of a deal. She didn't, and it just felt like, I don't care about any of this. And then we have the Temple of the Golden Pavilion. Yukio Mishima. I liked this at first, but then the main character, again, so pretentious, such a fucking sod. I hated him. Like, it made me, I love the story. I really, truly did like the story, and I liked the writing, and it was just like, like, you can understand why it has such an important place in Japanese literature. Like, I absolutely loved a lot of aspects to it, but the main character, I just could not deal with how pretentious he was. Even though, like, I know after reading it that he has so much trauma and a lot, like, I think I need to reread it. I think I need to reread it to understand more, because I know he has a lot of trauma, right? And he's like trying to cope in every way that he can, but the way he chooses to cope, not chooses, I'm so sorry, I don't mean chooses, but the way his brain decided to cope, even though unconsciously, turned him into the most pretentious person, and I hated him. Next up on the 2-starter, I'm not even gonna give it the time of light, Confess. Fuck you, literally, fuck this book, fuck the rhyming duel, and don't get me started on the fucking...
They were in the middle of the street having a rhyming duel. These are like 23-year-old people. She's literally like 22, she's my age, and she's having a rhyming duel on the fucking street. I get like being childish with your person, and you're like comfortable and whatnot, but you're having a rhyming duel, and she, like, the rhyming duel isn't even that good. The rhyming duel isn't even like cool, and it isn't like that. The rhyming duel is her saying, I'm the queen of rhyming, it's all about the timing.
And this bitch had the nerve to say she's trying to be seductive. In what world is that trying to be seductive, my man? In what dimension, in what corner of the matrix is someone saying, I'm the queen of rhyming, it's all about the timing, is them trying to be seductive to you? I'm gonna say something. I was in 2 psych wards. Goals. I was in 2 psych wards, and it's showing today that I was in 2 psych wards, and we had a lot of people there, and the first psych ward was literally psychopaths and me, and the second psych ward was more like not dangerous people, and also me, because I wasn't dangerous to myself anymore, or other people. They're not gonna mention that. But the type of people that would flirt there is like this. The next one is a poem. It's Daddy by Sylvia Plath. I love Sylvia Plath. She's my bitch. I love her so much. The Bell Jar is one of the best books that I've read last year or the year before. I don't remember when I read it, but The Bell Jar is one of the best books. I don't even have the fucking physical copy, and it burns in my heart that I don't have it, and I can't smell it and see it and annotate it, but highly advisable. One of the best books, and a book that I think everyone should read. I love it so much. This is gonna be so cringy to edit, and I'm so sorry that I'm gonna do this to you, Marie. I love you so much. I'm talking to you, me, when you edit. I love you. I'm so sorry that you have to see that. But the poem, Daddy, it made me not want to acknowledge that she wrote poems. It has a lot to it. I agree to that. I need to read it like 7 times, but my brain capacity is like here, and this is like here, and we just like, there's a lot to go through, and I choose not to go through that ladder of mental capacities. I just choose to ignore it. I would recommend it if you want. It's short. You can just like Google it and read it, but I did not like it that much. Then I have a bunch of manga and graphic novels that I mostly talked about in my Chainsaw video, and maybe I'm gonna talk because I read Death Note. I read like the first 8 volumes so far, and I think I'm gonna finish it and then talk about it or not. I don't know. Is it worth it? It is not. I really don't know, but it's giving good vibes. Then I read the 48 of Love, and I ended up with 2 stars. It's gonna take like 20 minutes plus this video for me to explain everything that I felt about it, but as a whole, I hated the main character. One of the main characters, Shems of Tabriz. I hated him so much. He was so fucking pretentious. He literally, like, I even, like, sometimes I would like him and then I completely, like, hate his guts because of how pretentious he is. And then when he married Rumi's daughter, well, adopted daughter, he literally did the worst thing possible to her, like the worst things possible to her, and I was like, I hate this bitch with all of my heart. This is the worst character ever. And I think the main character in the book, like the bitch of the book, was Ella, and I wish we'd gotten more from him. Even though we got a lot from him, but I wish it was even more from her and less from Shams, because I just hate that man so much. He was annoying the fuck out of me, and he would stop people in the middle of their talking and tell them stories every now and I just wanted to slap him sometimes because it's not that fucking simple, and I hated him sometimes. Then we have Becoming by Barack Obama, by Michelle Obama. I liked it, but it was just okay for me. It's really not my type of book. I don't like nonfiction, I don't like political stuff, but I liked it, would recommend it, especially if you're interested. I wasn't even interested in it, and I would recommend it. It was such a cool read, and she's super smart, and it was witty, but just sometimes I just wanted to close it and not look at it for like 3 months. But other than that, it was cool. Okay, now let's go to the Hall of Fame of 1 stars. Starting with the legend, the 48 laws of love. 40 laws? The 48 laws of laws? Stop saying laws. The 48 laws. Starting with the 48 laws. Starting with the 48 laws of power. I hated this book. I felt like this person. A fun fact, back to the psych ward. When I was there, we had like this very self-involved narcissist, and it like when I was reading the book, it reminded me so much. You had no idea how many flashbacks I had, and I had to stop because I was getting triggered over and over and over again. And it reminded me so much of that person. Like it had stuff that were good, but then it immediately would cut off and go to something bad. I hated it. 1,000 Boy Kisses. No. Extremely overhyped. I was so freaking disappointed. After all the hype that this book, stop freaking using bad words. Not bad words, just like making words into not the words that they're supposed to be wording. I was so disappointed because this is such a hyped up book, and after all the hype that it gets, every like book club that I go into, every group that I go into, everyone that I talk to recommends 1,000 Boy Kisses. Like, and even if I make book friends, they would ask me, have you read 1,000 Boy Kisses? What do you think about it? And I was always so excited about reading it, especially after getting into romance and more into romance. I was just excited, but then it left me dry. It left me lacking. It left me with a lot of questions. It left me thinking, what is wrong with people? Like, what is wrong with me, actually? Because the majority of people that read this book love it, and I couldn't. I hated the main character. Like, I wanted to slap the living shit out of her. She had such a victim mentality. Yes, she was dying, but she doesn't have to be such a annoying bitch about it. She would literally say, I'm not like the other girls, not like that bitch over there. Well, you know what I mean from that quote alone. Drum rolls, please, for the worst book that I've read this year so far. Ugly Love. No. This was a lot to go through. I didn't expect to make a long video talking about this. I didn't expect, like, I'm going to my GoodReads stats and there's like so much of books that I hated, and I can't wait for more because, like, I love when I find good books, but I also like when I find bad books because it like makes me know myself more and explore myself more. I hope this was entertaining. I love you. And by the way, tell me of your shitty books. How many books have you read this year? What is your goal? And what is the worst book that you've read? Fuck it, what is the worst book that you ever laid eyes on? Like, that you ever read, ever, in your entire life? I want to know. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I'm gonna see you next video. Okay, bye.